In the heart of the 2024 election race lies a battleground state that could shift the entire balance of power, and that's Pennsylvania. Known for its influence in presidential races, Pennsylvania has consistently been a pivot point for both Democrats and Republicans. This year, the stakes are higher than ever before as we're witnessing one of the most competitive elections in recent history. As the campaign enters its final month, both Trump and Harris are betting on swing states like Pennsylvania to win the presidency. But the big question is, who's really winning it? With early vote data already streaming in and polls showing a virtual deadlock, Pennsylvania is poised to make or break the future of the presidency. Can Donald Trump replicate his 2016 success, or will Kamala Harris leverage Democratic strengths to secure a win? And with factors like absentee ballots, shifting demographics, and critical county trends playing out in the states, let's decode the numbers, analyze the trends, and answer this big question. Early voting data provides a unique perspective on voter enthusiasm and turnout, often serving as a snapshot of party momentum in battleground states like Pennsylvania. For 2024, Pennsylvania's early voting scene reveals an interesting trend. Democrats are leading in early voting by a substantial margin. So far, 61.6% of absentee and mail-in ballot requests have come from Democrats. And even more impressive, 72.8% of the returned ballots are from Democratic voters. This strong lead suggests a possible surge in enthusiasm for the Democratic side. But while these numbers look promising for Harris's campaign, there's a warning that early voting data can be misleading. Factors like mail delays or variations in follow-through can shift this early lead before Election Day, making it critical to analyze these trends with caution. But beyond early voting, there's another factor redefining the political map in Pennsylvania: Black voter turnout. According to TargetSmart's latest race modeling data, Black voters, who represented 8.8% of Pennsylvania's electorate in 2020, have now surged to 19.5%. This jump is substantial and could significantly influence the final outcome, especially since Harris's campaign has prioritized engagement with Black voters across Pennsylvania. However, this support isn't guaranteed for the Democratic ticket. Historically, a portion of Black voters have supported Republican candidates, often swayed by issues such as economic opportunities and public safety, two areas where Trump's platform has traditionally held ground. This increase in Black voter representation will undeniably impact the race, but the results may not entirely favor Harris, making this demographic shift one to watch. This is because Pennsylvania's bellwether counties, Erie and Northampton, have an impressive track record of predicting presidential outcomes. These counties have voted for the winning candidate in every presidential race since 2008, making them crucial indicators of statewide trends. This year, Trump holds a slight edge in these bellwether counties, leading Harris by just 1 point, 49% to 48%. This shift from the 2020 election, when these counties leaned Democratic, could be a signal that traditional Democratic voters are increasingly shifting away from the party. Signals analysis indicates that many ancestral Democrats in these counties see Harris as too radical, a perspective that could tilt the race in Trump's favor. With both Erie and Northampton leaning Republican, even slightly, it highlights a broader trend. Democrats may be losing ground among blue-collar voters. But what about the issues? The issues driving Pennsylvania voters this election are largely consistent with national trends. Economic anxiety, inflation, and immigration remain top concerns, with 31% of bellwether voters listing inflation and the economy as their primary issue, and 24% pointing to immigration and border security. On these points, Trump's appeal remains strong. He currently holds a 6-point advantage over Harris on the economy, 52% to 46%, and a significant 15-point lead on immigration, 56% to 41%. Even on crime, Trump leads Harris by 6%, resonating with voters who prioritize public safety. On the other hand, Harris's strongest lead is on abortion, where she holds a 14-point advantage. However, the bellwether counties prioritize economic stability and immigration over social issues, presenting a potential uphill battle for Harris to align with voters on their most pressing concerns. Party registration trends have also sparked intense debate, especially in Pennsylvania, where voter registration doesn't always predict voting outcomes. Pennsylvania has a history of voting slightly to the right of its Democratic registration lead. For example, Trump's previous performances have consistently exceeded Republican registration numbers by large margins, an effect some analysts refer to as the Trump coefficient. If Trump achieves a similar boost in 2024, he could capture Pennsylvania by a margin of 4 to 6%. Even a more modest turnout, with only half of his past performance, could still tip the state in his favor. This pattern suggests Pennsylvania may be shifting from its historical blue lean toward becoming more competitive, or even favoring Republicans, making party registration an increasingly complex predictor. One of Harris's primary challenges in Pennsylvania is her image among moderate voters. The Signal poll reveals that only 20% of bellwether voters view Harris as a moderate, although nearly all who do are solidly in her camp. For Harris, the key is connecting with these swing voters without alienating her base. Trump's team has been quick to frame Harris as a far-left, radical San Francisco liberal, a label that resonates with voters who are concerned about issues like inflation and immigration. Additionally, Harris's decision to pick Minnesota's Tim Walz as her running mate over Pennsylvania's popular governor, Josh Shapiro, may have cost her crucial support. Shapiro, who maintains a 114-point favorability rating among Pennsylvanians, could have added local credibility. Without his presence, Harris faces a tougher battle to connect with undecided voters who are cautious of more liberal stances. Education and income divisions are particularly sharp in Pennsylvania. Harris enjoys a substantial lead among college-educated voters, outperforming Trump by 27 points with this demographic. However, Trump dominates among non-college educated voters, where he holds a 20-point advantage. These splits are further accentuated by income, with Harris leading among wealthier households and women under 55. At the same time, Trump commands strong support among union households and voters earning less than $100,000. These working-class voters, who feel a stronger alignment with Trump's populist message, could be the deciding factor in more rural counties. Gender plays a role as well, with Harris leading among women by 25% and Trump dominating among men by 29%. This demographic divide underscores the contrasting priorities of Pennsylvania voters, who are increasingly polarized along the lines of income, education, and gender. So where are we standing with less than a month from polling day? Historically, Pennsylvania has voted slightly to the right of the Democratic registration lead, a trend that remains true even in elections where Democrats have a large registration advantage. Over the past 6 presidential elections, this pattern has held steady, with the Trump campaign viewing this tendency as a strong indicator for 2024. If Trump achieves the same performance boost as he did in the last election, his projected lead could be around 280,000 votes. At his average performance level, this lead grows to over 6%, and even a modest boost could tip the state Republican. Both campaigns are aware of Pennsylvania's potential to decide the election. For Harris, the path to victory involves connecting with moderates and swing voters. For Trump, maintaining strong support among working-class and non-college educated voters remains key. But ultimately, Pennsylvania's outcome will likely hinge on voter concerns about inflation, jobs, crime, and immigration. As one of the most critical states in the race, Pennsylvania could indeed decide the White House.